What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm back this week. Just decided to do some predictions a little bit earlier this week. First, I just want to give a shout out to Wish.com. Surprisingly, I ordered this UFC sweater off there, and honestly, it wasn't too bad for $10, and they gave me a free UFC pants. So for $10, you can't go wrong with that. I don't know why I'm telling you that, but you know, ordering UFC off Wish is a lot cheaper if it actually fits than the UFC store. Now, this week's card isn't that stacked, so I just picked out a couple fights that I want to talk about. I do have an interview coming out either tomorrow or the next day with our Canadian prospect, Gillian Robertson. So look forward to that. It's going to be really good. I'm excited myself. I want to start off with the first fight, and that is my wife is fighting, and that is Tracy Cortez. I'm just kidding, but I wish. And she is fighting Stephanie Agar. Honestly, I don't know too much about Stephanie, so I have to go off Tracy Cortez's Contender Series fight and her last fight against Vanessa Mello. She's 7-1, not just pretty face. She really knows how to mix it up together really well. She just made her bantamweight debut, I like to say. I'm pretty sure that's a bantamweight fight. I do get Tracy Cortez winning that unanimous decision this weekend in Abu Dhabi, of course, on the Fight Island. All right. Next fight I want to talk about is Ben Rothwell, Big Ben. He ever since he got suspended, he was on a roll before he got suspended. Beat Josh Burnett, Matt Mitrione, stuff like that. And then he came back and he kind of lost, I think, 3 fights in a row. He finally got his groove back and he's beaten 2 people in a row. I'm pretty sure his last one was over Stefan Skyscraper Struve, which was a decent win. And now he's fighting a decent contender in Marcin Tybura, who fell on hard times himself, but has also found himself on winning ways again. And he's on a 2-fight winning streak as well. So someone is going to go from 2 fights, 3, and possibly look into the top 15 this weekend with a win. This fight was really hard for me. I just feel one part of me wants to say Ben Rothwell's going to knock him out quick. But after going back and forth, I do think that Marcin Tybura is going to outgrind him. He is a guy who likes to point, strike for heavyweights, more of a decision guy for the big weight class. I think Ben Rothwell is going to be a little too slow and he's going to get grinded out for 3 rounds, and it's not going to look pretty, and it's going to be a fairly boring fight. I do have Marcin Tybura going with a unanimous decision with probably 30-27, honestly. So if you're going to put your money down, I don't know who the favorite is in that fight, but I would definitely go Marcin Tybura. All right, another exciting fight. Edson Barboza. A lot of these guys fighting on this card have went on hard times, who's lost his last 3 and is like 1 in his last 6, which is a win against Stan Hooker which was great, if I'm correct. I'm not too sure there. But he is fighting Makwan Amir Khani. I think I pronounced that right. This one I'm back and forth on. Amir Khani, he has one of the fastest knockouts in UFC history, I know that. But he's more of a submission guy. That's his only knockout, is that fast knockout. I do have Barboza getting back to his winning ways with a flashy knockout. I think you're going to see him come out. I think he won his last fight first against Dan Ige. I did think it was a robbery, honestly. So I do see him coming off a win and making himself jump into the top 15 this weekend. I think Edson Barboza is going to be too big, and his striking is just going to be too fast, and you're going to see a 2nd round TKO. That's my prediction for that fight. All right. In the main event, wow, this is a great fight. We got Moraes versus Sandhagen. And what can I say? See, I've been watching Moraes since PFL. I watched him win the title. He defended it quite a bit. And honestly, back then, it's hard to say because I feel like his cardio has gotten worse from what I've seen in the UFC. Because in PFL, when he was a champion, he went 5 rounds. He did knock people out in fights too. And I always said this guy's going to be a contender in the bantamweight division. But he went 5 rounds, didn't have too much of an issue. but it looked like he gassed out, I think, bad in the Jose Aldo fight. He gassed out bad in the Henry Cejudo fight. I don't know if it was this damage. I don't know what happened there, but it's like his cardio's not as good as it used to be. And this gets me going back and forth on if Sandhagen can drag this into a 5-round fight without getting caught by a strike, he's going to win this fight. If there's going to be a decision in this fight, I would not put my money on Moraes just because of the cardio issue. But that being said, unfortunately, because I think Sandhagen is a great fighter, and at one point I thought he was going to be a future title challenger until his last fight just was not impressive over Aljamain, who is a great fighter, but he got killed quick. And I do have Moraes winning first round head kick. I just think he's too strong and too dynamic for Sandhagen that first round. And I feel like he will catch him with the head kick and put him to sleep. And that is this weekend's cards. Like I said, it's not the best card, but it is some fights this weekend. There's some other good fights on. I just want to give a shout out to Josh Calibio, who fought this weekend, fought to a draw. I personally gave him 2 rounds. He fought the Canadian Jourdain. Sorry, I get all mixed up sometimes with names. And I want to give a big shout out to my favorite fighter of all time, Carlos Condit, who finally got back to his winning ways and looked amazing against Court McGee. Next, I would like to see him fight Matt Brown or maybe Diego Sanchez, something that will keep him rolling, get him 2 fights, maybe get him back in the top 15 one day. I'd like to see the natural born killer do some big things. So Nick Diaz, Diego Sanchez, and Matt Brown would be the fights I'd like to see for the natural born killer. And again, shout out to Gillian Robertson, who is in an interview coming out this week with me. And I appreciate everyone watching. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks.